Hype is a strange thing for video games. Sometimes it boils up immediately after the initial reveal, and sometimes it takes time. Little details that pop up and heat the stove a little more each time until you have reached a bubbling pot of hype at risk of overflowing. Well, at least for me with Scarlet Nexus, it was the latter experience, with an initial apathy replaced gradually by more and more interest until we reached this point where I'm legitimately hyped for the game. I'm looking forward to diving into this futuristic and somewhat bizarre world with a lot more character than I expected upon its initial reveal. Scarlet Nexus is an action JRPG developed and published by Bandai Namco, with its staff coming from a disparate group of veteran developers, including people who have worked on franchises such as Tales of. Bandai Namco is going all out with this game too, with the game already announced to be receiving an anime adaptation in addition to the main game. It seems clear to me they think this game can succeed and spawn a series perhaps. Scarlet Nexus will be coming out on June 25th for Windows, Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Currently there is a demo where you can play about an hour or so with each main character on the PlayStation and Xbox consoles. You'll have plenty of options for consoles to play it on, and surprisingly for a high-profile JRPG, it seems Microsoft and Bandai Namco have a strong partnership on this game, as it was announced at a Microsoft event and the demo launched a week earlier on Xbox than it did on PlayStation. Might mean nothing, especially with Bandai Namco denying the game will launch on Game Pass, but they said nothing about it eventually coming to it, so keep an eye out. Based on the trailers, news, and demo then, what is Scarlet Nexus about? Scarlet Nexus is set in the not-too-distant future, but an alternate universe, so all the obvious technological differences aren't too unrealistic. In this universe, psionic potential has been discovered in human brains, allowing for telekinesis and other powers to be harnessed. Turns out this was either very good or very bad timing, because that's when the Others began attacking. The Others are mutant monsters descending from the cheerfully named Extinction Belt that cause havoc and destruction. The only way to defeat them is via the superpowers humanity has just discovered, and so the OSF, Other Suppression Force, was founded to take them on. Humanity's last line of defense. I feel like I've heard that one before. The action takes place in the city of New Himuka, where you pick one of two new recruits to the OSF to play as. Yuito Sumeragi, the son and brother of prominent politicians in the city and a longtime recruit for the OSF after he was rescued during another attack when he was a child, or Kasane Randall, a cool young woman with a mysterious background and history with exceptional powers. Both have telekinetic powers that are used frequently in combat, but wield different weapons during melee combat. Yuito uses a sword for close combat, and Kasane uses a collection of floating knives she can shoot out to destroy enemies. While specific world-building details are sparse, there's enough there to spark some fascination in me. Yuito and Kasane as characters have some intriguing elements connecting them to the world. They also seem to have a connection to each other that could place them on opposite sides of some as of yet unknown conflict, which should lead to some juicy story. I'm looking forward to untangling these red threads and learning more about the characters and world as well. For the more general world, one of the details I really liked that we have seen in focus early on are the Crows, the drone-based media that follows OSF on missions and has grown to make certain OSF members celebrities. I also like how both Yuito and Kasane have their own squads of characters that can develop alongside them, with the opportunity for brain messages, as they're called, leading into the Bond events that we've been told about. I really hope they have strong personalities and I can get attached to them, and this world. Plus, the Bonds give gameplay upgrades, but that's just a bonus on top of getting to know a new colorful cast of characters. What can I say? I'm a character person. While the basic information we have so far doesn't show amazing depth on either world building or characters, I'm excited to see what the game does offer because I think that could push the game from fun to amazing, and there are some hints that it has some more depth than we would expect. Why do I really think it'll be fun though? That would be because of the gameplay. Scarlet Nexus's action combat system showed a lot of potential just in the short time I spent with the demo. The basic attacking, dodging, and personal abilities all seem smooth and easy to use once you've got the timing down, so where the real depth comes in is with the SAS, Struggle Arms system, which allows you to temporarily borrow other characters' abilities for use in battle. Whether it's fire-based abilities or teleportation, all of the abilities have strong uses in combat, and at least some out-of-combat uses, which I found out while exploring around. While the demo didn't offer too much beyond the basic borrowing of skills, other details seem to say that things will get more advanced after we unlock the skill tree known as the Brain Map, allowing for more combos and battle strategies. The other part of the powers comes into play with the surroundings. There are a lot of objects lying in conveniently placed locations around the battlefield. Kasane and Yuito can use the items along with their telekinetic powers to smash into and damage enemies. Honestly, the system reminded me of some of the environmental battle prompts found in Persona 5 Strikers. A successful telekinetic attack followed up with a quick combo and maybe an SAS connection, and you'll be finishing off the regular enemies in no time. The challenge is there though, given the variety of enemies around each area, and of course, the boss battles against the major others that have killed an OSF member in the past, will be no cakewalk either. I'm quite excited for combat and can't wait to see how the system gains depth as we progress. I do see some people worried that the combat is too much based on weaknesses to the various SAS abilities and the major other battles on the convenient telekinetic attacks. I understand these concerns. I felt the portion of the early game we got in the demo gave us a good surface look that was entertaining while also not overwhelming the player, so I just didn't expect that level of depth in the demo, and I trust that it will come in the game proper. With that early successful balance, I hope they recognize the system they were building and give combat more intensity as the game progresses. If they do continue to ramp up the combat over the course of the game, I think this combat system could be special. As for outside of combat gameplay, there is some collection stuff during missions that should offer incentives to explore each mission area. On top of that, there will be moments in the game where you get the time to explore around the city and interact with people that may offer side quests. This also goes for hanging out with the OSF when you can do the aforementioned bonding events or give them gifts to make them like you more. Mainly, I'm hoping for these moments to expand character and world details and to be a nice breather in between missions to adjust to the recent others threat or consider the story. If Scarlet Nexus offers that in its side quests and the possibility of a hub for the main characters at the OSF base that can gain details as we go through the game, I will be more than happy. As for presentation, the art style is very reminiscent of anime. Considering the already announced anime adaptation of the game, this was clearly an intentional choice. And I'm glad they stuck with it because the art looks great. The characters, despite usually being in uniform, seem very distinct in their design, although I do hope the costume changing that's been hinted at is a big part of the game. The enemy designs also are entirely unique. The blend of organic and inorganic materials made for some very weird monsters, and I love the look of them. There is no game that has enemies that look like Scarlet Nexus's. The animation is similarly effective, with smooth motion in the action scenes and good character expressions to accentuate dialogue in cutscenes. One thing that I did find a bit jarring in the demo were the moments where the dialogue came with static backgrounds and character portraits popping up. Obviously, this is something I'm familiar with from other games, as it is similar to how the Tales of Skits work or most Fire Emblem dialogue happens. It just surprised me initially after the amazing animated scenes that I had seen from the game thus far transitioned into these more flat moments. And I think the choice took some of the energy out of the scenes in which it occurred. This choice won't ruin the game, and I have been assured there are plenty of regular cutscenes, but I still find it an odd choice. As for UI, I didn't have any problem understanding the information on screen, but I see some potential problem areas such as small dialogue text size. However, in the really important areas such as combat UI, despite the complexity of combat, it seems clear that every bit of information on screen is essential and unobtrusive. Good work on that part. The voice acting seems solid thus far, but that's just standard fare, not getting into the real emotional moments of the story that the voice acting can help elevate if done well. Finally, the music, from what I've heard, is quite good. I especially loved the main menu theme from the demo that felt like it took some inspiration from Xenoblade Chronicles. All in all, while the game is not a perfect blend of presentation, there's quite a bit good here, and the iffy parts are minor or hopefully can be fixed in options if the need arises. Scarlet Nexus really seems like a game that does a lot of things well, and I'm hoping that impression is in fact the case because I enjoyed the demo and have been excited by everything I have seen and found out about the game. I would bank on the game being successful, which is probably what Bandai Namco thinks as well, hence the attention it is getting. And so I wouldn't be surprised if this is the start of something bigger and perhaps even special. What do you think of Scarlet Nexus based on what you've seen or heard about when it comes to the game? Will you be picking up the game come the 25th? Please let me know down in the comments, and while you're heading down there, leaving a like is the easiest way for you to support this video and the channel. Subscribe to keep up with the channel, and in all likelihood more about Scarlet Nexus, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Have a great day, and happy gaming!